This is CityCast Twin Cities. I'm Sean McPherson, and here's what the cities are talking about. Michelle, for $1 million, would you never go north of the Twin Cities again?
I'm going to say no because I have family in northern Minnesota, so I guess I got to see him.
Em, would you take $1 million to never go north of the Twin Cities?
No, I just feel like that's not enough. If we are talking $1 billion, I'll think about it.
My guy Chuck from Trivia Mafia was like, pick a direction, I need $1 million. Like, I will never go west, I'll never go south. I think you would stay in Anoka for like $25,000 once. So sounds like y'all are a little more discerning, but glad to know that you love what is north of the Twin Cities. Today we're talking about a double dip option for parental leave, and we're going to revisit the heyday of Minnesota movies. I'm joined by Michelle Griffith, a journalist from the Minnesota Reformer. Michelle, I've read your byline a bajillion times. It's really great to have you on the show.
Yeah, happy to be here. Thank you.
I'm also joined by Em Castle, owner-editor of Racket. Em, I've also read your byline a bajillion times. Thank you for joining us again.
A treat to be here as always, Sean.
Now, things are changing for the better for folks who are seeking family and medical leave in Minnesota. But there's some Minnesotan parents who have figured out a bit of a secret menu for paid leave, an opportunity to double dip, if you will. And we will get into that. But there's a lot changing for parental leave in Minnesota. And we're lucky to be with Michelle Griffith, who's working up a story on that for the Minnesota Reformer. Michelle, can we back up and find out a little bit about the basics of this new policy? Namely, how do workers actually use this paid leave program?
Yeah, so Minnesota is launching a new paid leave program on January 1st, so in a couple months, and it allows workers in Minnesota to claim up to 12 weeks of parental leave and 12 weeks of medical leave. And so this is great opportunities for employees who aren't getting that benefit through their job. And, you know, you can take time with a newborn or take time to recuperate from an injury, take time to take care of a loved one if you want. And yeah, so it's starting in a couple months. The state is trying to get the message out there that this program exists. And so I think employees in Minnesota will start to learn about it more in the next couple months.
And I just want to throw a highlighter on another important element. Sometimes I think it's unconscionable that people don't get this already. It's even more unconscionable that sometimes people come back to reclaim their job after a medical situation or after welcoming a child into their life and finding out you don't have a job anymore. This also protects against that happening, right, Michelle?
Yes, yeah, it provides job protections, and you get partial wage replacement. So you're not going to get your whole paycheck while you're out on leave, but it's enough to hopefully get you stable while you're taking the leave.
Yeah, that full pay thing is a little bit of a head scratcher at first, but it is kind of progressive in the sense that if you're not making a whole lot of dough at your job, you'll get up to 90% of your full pay, which is, you know, I'm going to just tell y'all, it's pretty darn close to 100%. It's going to max out at about, is it $1,400 a week? Is $1,423 is kind of the peak that they're going to pay out. Is that right, Michelle?
Yeah, that's the maximum any one person can get per week. And, you know, the employee will get a direct deposit right into their bank account from the state of Minnesota. So you get paid every week.
Michelle, do you have to take all the leave at the same time? Or is this like, can you take a week here, a week there?
Yeah, you can take intermittent leave. So you can take, a couple weeks on, a couple weeks off. You just have to do a different application process through the state. But the state hasn't rolled out the portal yet that you're supposed to use to do applications and stuff, but they're working on that. And apparently it's supposed to be pretty easy, but we don't know what that will look like yet. But you just got to apply and provide some documentation that you do have an injury or you did welcome a child this year or things like that. So you have to provide a little bit of proof and also notify your employer too.
We have a checkered portal history. I'm slightly nervous about how the portal will turn out because, I mean, it's like sometimes I feel like, oh, you guys really handled it for e-bikes, but when it was time for us to get on ACA, it was a whole nightmare. Are you feeling, Michelle, as you're doing this reporting, like when they say the portal will be good, do you believe them? Are you nervous that come January 1st or whenever they roll it out in advance of January 1st, there's going to be a lot of headaches?
I mean, I am a little skeptical just based on Minnesota's record, with MNLARS and the ACA rollout here in the state. So it has been shaky with IT, but I spoke to the paid leave director and I asked him, what's keeping you up at night? What are you worried about with this program? And he said, I'm sleeping well. So he is not concerned. The state, the Department of Employment and Economic Development is confident that they will have a smooth rollout, which is politically, what Democrats need, because obviously if there's any sort of hiccups, Democrats are going to get attacked for it. So,
Michelle, I want to pretend like I know what MNLARS is, but I'm struggling. What is MNLARS?
yeah, that was I think was it in 2011 or it's like 2011 or 2013. That was the state's like new licensure program, and the website crashed when it rolled out, and then people had delays in getting their driver's license, and it was just a complete nightmare for the state. There was a bunch of political fallout, and just it was an overall mess.
Can we talk about double dipping, Michelle? People are talking about this on Reddit, saying this is an opportunity to kind of look at when you had your kid and figure out how you can enjoy this, even if you had your kid in 2025. So when people are saying double dipping, what are they talking about?
Yeah, so paid leave starts on January 1st, but if you had a child in 2025, you can claim the paid leave benefit next year, as long as you claim the benefit within a year of welcoming that kid into your home. And that is regardless whether you've already taken leave with your employer. So, you can have already taken 12 weeks with your employer. You could potentially claim another 12 weeks next year in 2026. And so that is something that the state is aware of. And that's what the state is expecting the first month to be majority of parents who had kids in 2025. They said that they expect 5,000 to 7,000 people will claim that 2025 parental leave double dip in next year. And obviously, it would be a lot for some employers to take that amount of time off. But yeah, apparently this is a common thing to happen with paid leave programs. 13 other states in the country have their own paid leave programs and have welcomed kids born the year prior. So it was something that I didn't know about until very recently, and I've been covering it for a little bit. So I don't know if it was super clear to me, at least, that this was happening, but it is happening. And yeah, you can take leave, and you won't get docked. You still have the same pay protections or job protections and everything. You just have to claim it within a year of having your child.
So who can't double dip?
Yeah. So if your employer is not a part of the paid leave program in Minnesota, you won't be able to double dip. So if your employer offers a more generous leave, offers more weeks, or if it offers like a full pay even, you're going to be opted out of the state's leave program and you won't be able to double dip. You'll just be able to take your employer's paid leave. Another thing here is that the paid leave program is going to be funded through a payroll tax. So people will be seeing a little bit deducted from their paychecks. The rate is 0.88% of your taxable wages, but then your employer is required to take at least half of that cost off of their employees. They can take more if they want to be nice. That's probably not going to happen. So most employees will have to pay 0.44% of their taxable wages, which is 44 cents for every $100. So if your company is not in Minnesota's paid leave program, you will not be able to double dip, but you won't also have those payroll taxes show up on your paycheck.
It's really interesting. I'm someone who never plans on having kids, but I think 44 cents out of every $100 seems really reasonable. And I would like the coworkers in my life to have access to that money and that leave.
Yeah, it could change every year. So every year the state's going to look at the account, see if it's viable for the amount of people that are, claiming the benefit, and could raise the tax. But there's a cap on 1.1%. So when you compare it to other states' leaves programs, it's not as high. Like Washington State has a very high tax rate. Their program is just also kind of in the weeds. They're broke. But I think Minnesota has tried to put itself on a better footing by putting a lot of seed money in. So because we had that large surplus a couple of years ago, the lawmakers put in $660 million into paid leave just to start out. That's going to pay a lot of the benefits next year. And then, we'll have the payroll tax as well to to put into the fund. But yeah, it's not a lot, but it could increase in the future as well.
Em, I thought you were going to come in as a hard-nosed business owner, always trying to just get a little bit more from the working man. But, as a owner of Racket, you are comfortable with this impact on payroll taxes?
I am. We have one of our 4 co-owners is on, parental leave right now. And I just think it's kind of wild to me that in America, which loves to bill itself as one of the greatest countries on earth, we don't already have some sort of, you look at the way other countries do it and it's just like, you should get leave. You should get leave when you have a child. You should get leave when you're sick. Like, I don't think that should be a terribly radical take.
We want to hear from you. Is this a terribly radical take? Is this the right direction for the state to head? Or do you feel like we should actually expect employers to handle this completely on their lonesome? Let us know by texting or leaving a voicemail on the CityCast Twin Cities hotline, 612-217-0637. And your comments could be in one of our mailbag segments, or we might answer your question on an episode. There's more news to discuss, including the heyday of films in Minnesota. Before we do that, we're going to take a quick break. I moved out to Minnesota in 1996, and when my friends came to visit me from Massachusetts, they could care less about Paisley Park. They could care less about the Mall of America. All they wanted to do was visit Eden Prairie Center because of Mallrats. And it turns out that the 90s was a peak era for films being made in Minnesota. Nowadays, we have to settle for Woody Harrelson smoking a joint at Rock the Garden. But back in the day, it would be Schwarzenegger in downtown St. Paul, Tim Allen in downtown St. Paul. It was better times for sure. And recently in Racket, Charlie Gilmer, who's on the vegan movie beat, apparently. I guess y'all are just made of money and putting people on these beats. But this is a very cool story about the film heyday of the 90s in Minnesota. Did you assign or edit this story?
I did assign it and I did some of the editing, yes.
I'm new to some of this, print journalism world or web journalism world. Were you like, I want to know more about movies in the 1990s, or did you get kind of pitched on and then go, yeah, Charlie, run with that?
Yeah, we got pitched on it. This was something that we have written a lot about movies made in Minnesota. Like a few years ago, we did a huge oral history, my colleague Jay Bowler, about the filming of Jingle All the Way. It's a 5,000 word story about Jingle All the Way and how it got made here.
Every word of it, by the way.
Yeah, so we are very nostalgic for this kind of quote unquote golden age of cinema in Minnesota. But I did want to know more. I personally wasn't aware that we had, 60 and more than 60 movies made here throughout the 90s. That just seems like a lot. The way that Minnesotans make a big deal every time any celebrity is spotted at a restaurant here. I don't know how anyone got through that without exploding. It just seems impossible. Yes, I needed to know more about this 90s movie boom and how it came to be and also how it came to an end. So this was a really fun one to read and learn a little more about.
Em, can you prove to me that this is a golden era? I know some films were made here, but they aren't all sterling examples of great cinema. Is this really a golden era?
Okay, maybe not all of them, but I do think there are a lot of classics from this time. A personal favorite of mine, I would say, is Drop Dead Gorgeous. On the other end of the spectrum, you have Drop Dead Fred. Still a movie that exists and was made here.
And hold on, referred in the article as the Drop Deads, as if
the Drop Deads. The Drop Deads, Fred and Gorgeous, yes. But yeah, you've got the Grumpy Old Men movies, which are really fun. I mean, those are movies I grew up watching. The Mighty Ducks trilogy, of course, is a childhood classics. The sequel to Major League, I don't know if anybody saw it, but it was filmed here. You mentioned Mallrats, which is amazing. The Good Son, Little Big League, a lot of sports movies for some reason. But oh my God, Fargo, I forgot Fargo. There were a lot of really big movies made here during the 90s, even if not all of them have achieved classic status.
I do love Fargo. I've seen The Wood Chipper in Fargo itself, and they have the original screenplay on display there too. So that was a great experience. And they have a fake foot sticking out of the wood chipper. Not any spoilers, sorry. Yeah.
Did you ever write a piece for the forum saying the fact that it's really a Minnesota movie and that North Dakota is claiming ownership, really fraudulently?
No, I did it. But yeah, it is majority Minnesota. So Stolen Valor.
We need to bring movies back to Minnesota, if only to get more novelty.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want more wood chipper adjacent landmarks that I can go visit.
Yes.
The mayor of Brainerd's going to be like, Joel and Ethan, could you kill someone in a movie in Brainerd? It would be really great for business.
We need it. We gotta have a Brainerd murder.
All roads lead to Prince in this town. And the first sort of feeling of the golden era doesn't involve Purple Rain, which is a bit of a head scratcher. So first off, like, why didn't you mention Purple Rain in that summary? And then also, how did Prince help move things along in this scene?
Yeah, Purple Rain is a funny one because it kind of predates the MN movie boom a little bit. Purple Rain was filmed in '83, which is the year that this Minnesota Film Board, which ended up being one of the things that brings a lot of movies to town in the '90s. It's the same year they launched. It came out the following year, and Purple Rain is a smash hit. It gives Prince the money and the power to build Paisley Park. And Paisley Park isn't just like, you know, Prince's compound and, you know, this kind of well-known facility. It also had a 12,000 square foot soundstage, which someone wrote in Twin Cities Reader at the time. It was the largest soundstage between New York and Los Angeles. So you get this big soundstage, you have this massive film and TV lighting and rigging assembly, and you get what some of these movie execs wanted from Minnesota, which was access to these winter scenes, these outdoor scenes. Now you have both. You can do the winter movie and you can go to Paisley Park and film some of the indoor scenes, which, you know, makes things a little bit easier versus having to go to New York or LA for some of that work.
Okay. I understand that we had a golden era. I understand that Prince helped usher it in. I kind of want to blame Canada for us not still having a golden era. I love Canada, but they poached a lot of cities in America that were benefiting from this and pulling work away from Hollywood, but remaining in the United States. Really lost to Toronto and Vancouver. To you, Em, and to Charlie, is that like the big point of like, this is why we lost this film era?
I think you can pretty fairly say that, yes. So by the mid 90s, this is when some of the bigger projects are finally hitting Minnesota. Like, you know, we have Jingle All the Way comes around this time, Mallrats, Fargo, Beautiful Girls. But Canada, I'm assuming, sees the success here in Minnesota and introduces a national tax credit for film productions that go up north. On top of that, you got a favorable exchange rate. They have all the snowy weather that Minnesota has and then some. And it makes it very appealing to Hollywood where, like, let's be honest, it's about the bottom line. Like, they don't want to go to Paisley Park that bad. So Canada does end up poaching some of the movies that probably would have come to Minnesota in this time. We're in competition with Toronto and Vancouver now. And even after the Minnesota Film Jobs Fund is introduced in '96, which was a 5% tax rebate for productions that hired local crews, nothing ever really turned it around. The following year, a state senator introduces Snowbait, which is a 10% refund of production taxes to the production company. And it keeps Minnesota in the game a little bit, but it's not enough to compete with Canada. They beat us. They were better than us.
Now we got this new thing, Explore Minnesota Film Agency, and we also have dwindling winters in a lot of the United States, right? It still gets snowy here. It looks like Hallmark has often headed up to Duluth to capture some of that rom-com vibe. They put on 55 hours a day during November and December. Em, do you have any optimism for Explore Minnesota's film agency and the dearth of places that have winter weather in America giving us a new heyday of Minnesota filming?
If I was a bigger optimist, I would say yes. I think realistically, we have snow, we've got Paisley Park, we have a really strong local theater scene, and we have a lot of really talented people working in film and movies here. I just don't know that things will improve, especially, we have Trump threatening industry-wide tariffs on Hollywood movies that are made outside the US. Maybe that could be something that helps push production back to Minnesota. But as with anything else, I think you just have to wait and see. And I don't know. And less stuff is filmed on location now anyway. It's why everything looks like crap. All movies made today look bad and suck.
Thank you for that shining ray of optimism, Em. Can I put a button on this? A lot of places that show up in big movies, there's signs and they talk about it, and there's a picture of, Walter Matthau like hanging out at this particular place in Stillwater, etc. Have either of you seen the movie Beautiful Girls? Em, have you seen Beautiful Girls?
I have not, no.
Michelle.
I haven't.
It's stunning. Timothy Hutton is in it, who nobody knows. Noah Emmerich is in it, who nobody knows. But who's the lady who's V for Vendetta, who's super famous?
Natalie Portman?
Natalie Portman. She's like super young. It's one of her first roles, and it's amazing. But Michael Rappaport, who nobody's a big supporter of Michael Rappaport at this moment, but he's a good actor, and he goes in and flips his shit on his lady in this movie, and she's a waitress, and it's the Bryant Lake Bowl. So if you ever want to see the Bryant Lake Bowl in a movie, check out Beautiful Girls. It's very visibly the Bryant Lake Bowl. It's not like hard to discern it, and it's one of my favorite sort of under the radar, that's where they filmed it, Minnesota things.
Fun. Okay, I'll have to track down a copy of that on VHS, add it to my collection.
I think you can stream it. You just made me feel like a very old person. I believe it has moved on to at least DVDs. There's probably a Blu-ray. Don't give me that VHS nonsense, Em.
I love my tapes, Sean. You can pry them from my cold, dead hands.
We want to hear from you. What are some of your favorite scenes that were filmed in Minnesota locations? That would be a lot of fun to talk about. Drop us a text. Leave us a voicemail on the CityCast Twin Cities hotline, 612-217-0637. You might hear your comments in an episode. Michelle Griffith, thank you so much for joining us. You're a journalist at The Reformer, and it's been so much fun finding out about paid leave with you. Thank you for being with us today.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. Appreciate it.
Em Castle, owner, editor of Racket, but apparently not a harsh industrialist who can accept parental leave as a part of a working world. Thank you so much for being with us here.
Not yet, anyway. Thank you, Sean.
We have more news to discuss, including a mailbag segment. But before we do that, we'll take a quick break. We have a special treat today. Executive producer Anna Wagle is joining me for a
mailbag. Okay, this is fun. We haven't done one of these in a while. So I wanted to share that listener Mia emailed us, and she said, I've appreciated listening to this podcast along with my morning news every day. I enjoyed your chat about the Mapping Prejudice Project. I knew about the covenants, but your conversation inspired me to sign up for an event at the library next month. She said, also, did you know about the new limited edition Prince library cards available at Hennepin County Libraries? I loved this. This is our dream, inspiring people to get out in the community, learn more about where they're living. And yes, we did know about those Prince library cards. They are in today's newsletter. If you're a podcast listener, but not a newsletter subscriber, you got to get both products. Sean, do you have a Prince library card yet?
No, because I live in Ramsey County, so I have a St. Paul
Right.
Public Library card. But honestly, they do look pretty cool.
Yeah.
Also, our friend Ethan J., he's a CityCast Twin Cities neighbor. We even got to see him at a recent launch event, which was really fun. But he wrote in a great note about why he became a CityCast Twin Cities neighbor. He said, because supporting options for more local journalism that actually reflects the culture and community of what makes this place so special is important. And after a week of listening to the show, he was confident that CityCast Twin Cities was going to do that in a way that was worth his support. Ethan, thank you for your support. And if you want to join Ethan and learn more about our membership program, visit twincities.citycast.fm and click on membership.
This one came from listener Dieta. So loving your fun and informative show. And she called it a multi-generational hit. She says 2 of her siblings worked and met their partners at the Richfield Chi-Chi's. Sean, we did a whole segment on Chi-Chi's last week, and they married those partners. So thank you to Dieta. That is such a sweet story. And also thank you for being the best mother-in-law in the whole world and babysitting my kids multiple times a week.
We also got to give a big shout out to our Roan, who got an awesome job at the University of Minnesota, and he saw that job listing in our newsletter. Congrats to Roan. And also, I got to say, we do a great job with those job listings, which you can find in our newsletter and on our website. We try to dial up some really unique job openings in the Twin Cities, and you can find them at the bottom of our newsletter. And of course, if you land a job from one, reach out and let us know.
Yeah.
Before we wrap up, we have a special segment from our partners at Xcel Energy.
Sean, I have to tell you something. I put up my Christmas tree last night and I decorated it.
There
Is
is
that okay?
It's fine, but I'm just letting you know, I was raised in a Christmas family. I married a Jewish woman. We're raising our kids Jewish. No better day in the Jewish adjacent calendar than the day when you see bozos putting up Christmas lights on their house and falling off of ladders, or people trying to find ornaments from 1985. And I just go, we got a menorah. It's all good.
It was equally cute and stressful with a 1 and 4-year-old decorating the tree with delicate ornaments up on a ladder. Yeah, it happened though. So, Sean, you're famously a St. Paul boy. Have you ever been to the annual Rice Park lighting ceremony? I'm curious.
I have, and it was truly spectacular. I probably went maybe 2009, 2010 or something like that. I was drinking all the Kool-Aid about St. Paul being a great area to celebrate holiday stuff. And that lighting ceremony was really the coolest thing I saw that year.
Well, maybe you'll want to go again because it's happening this Saturday in downtown St. Paul.
And Xcel Energy is proud to be a part of this tradition that brings the community together. And that's not just lip service. Like, honestly, there are tons of people there, and it really is a very community-oriented event.
And this year marks the 4th annual appearance of the Salvation Army Tree of Lights. And that's a 40-foot decorated tree that will light up Rice Park through January 6th.
40 feet is huge.
Yeah.
That is a big tree.
Is that like 2 houses on top of each other? I have no sense.
I think that is like 2 houses on top of each other.
Okay.
We will not fact check that. Okay. This ceremony also launches the Salvation Army's Red Kettle campaign, which raises funds to support families in need across our community.
The celebration starts at 5:30 p.m. with entertainment from the St. Paul Police Band Drumline and award-winning vocal group Vocal Essence. Sean, I love a drumline. Instant goosebumps for me, sometimes tears.
It is a really powerful way to communicate music. And yes, visually, it is so enthralling. Speaking of enthralling, Santa and Mrs. Claus are going to make special appearances, and there's going to be selfie stations, free cookies, and hot chocolate while supplies last.
You'll hear from Salvation Army leadership, NFL Hall of Famer Chris Carter, and St. Paul Mayor Melvin Carter. All the Carters.
All the Carters. If you're a Carter, get down here. Free hot chocolate for all the Carters. At 6 p.m., Mayor Carter, joined by a flock of children, is going to throw the Xcel Energy branded switch to light all the trees throughout the park.
And then, as if this isn't enough fanfare, the evening ends with fireworks. Fireworks, Sean!
There's more to talk about in the world of tree lighting. Mark your calendars for the evening after Thanksgiving. That is November 28th. There's another tree lighting celebration.
Okay, this is perfect for the tree lighting hoppers who want to just crawl from one to the other to the other.
This is the thing. This is when it's good to live in the Twin Cities because you kind of get 2 at-bats for every special thing, because the Winter-Appolis Light Up and Winter Kickoff runs from 5 to 7:30 the night after Thanksgiving, and that's at the IDS Center's Crystal Court in downtown Minneapolis.
Well, I sure am ready to welcome winter and light up this city. How about you, Sean?
I cannot wait. While you're circling days on your calendar, can you circle this Friday? That is National Pickle Day. And us here at CityCast Twin Cities are on the hunt for great Twin Cities pickles. What are your favorite pickles? And of course, if your favorite pickle is bread and butter, please stop listening now because we don't need you. That is a garbage pickle, and I will die on that hill. But if you have pickle suggestions for dill pickles, half sours, or other edible pickles, give us a call, 612-217-0637, and we can receive phone calls and also texts, but we need your pickle recommendations ASAP. That's all for today here on CityCast Twin Cities. I'm your host, Sean McPherson. Thanks to Michelle Griffith from The Reformer, M. Castle from Racket, and Anna, our executive producer, for being here today. You can get more news delivered right to your inbox by subscribing to the CityCast Twin Cities newsletter. If you enjoyed today's show, why not share this podcast with somebody who loves bread and butter pickles, like our producer, Adam. We'll see you back here tomorrow for more news from around the city.